I was having this thought the other day, and it is just one of those very quiet things you never really notice.
Oh, I know that feeling. What was it?
Well, I was just looking in the mirror and I realized we spend all this time staring right into our mouths.
Right, yeah. Like when we are getting ready for the day.
Exactly, like, checking your teeth, checking your gums. But we completely ignore the one part of our digestive system that is just, well, sitting right there in plain sight.
You mean the tongue.
Yes, the tongue. I mean, it is just wild to me. We are looking right at it day after day, year after year, and we don't really look at it.
It is the ultimate blind spot, isn't it?
It really
We
is.
just get so um, hyper-focused on the teeth. And we completely ignore this dynamic surface right in the middle of it all.
And that is exactly the mission of our deep dive today. I really want to unpack this because it feels like a total mystery.
It does feel like a mystery to a lot of people.
Right, like I just want to know how this little muscle in your mouth acts as this, like, warning sign for your gut and your stress and all of that.
It is genuinely so interesting. And what is great is that we are looking at this overlap of ancient wisdom and modern biology.
Oh, yeah. Like, people have been doing this for a long time, right?
Exactly. Traditional Chinese medicine has used tongue signs for over 2,000 years.
Wow. 2,000 years.
Right. And now, modern gut health experts are actually mapping out the biology behind it. They are seeing the exact physical paths that cause the tongue to reflect what is happening deep down in the stomach.
Okay, so let's unpack this because my very first thought, when I started wondering about this, was to think of the tongue like a car's check engine light.
Oh, that is a really common way to think about it.
Yeah, like this glaring red signal that just flashes when something is completely broken under the hood.
I get why you would go there. But I would actually, I would refine that just a bit.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, think of it less like a check engine light that only comes on during a total emergency, right?
Okay.
And think of it more like your fuel gauge
Yeah.
or just your normal daily dashboard.
Oh, okay, like a regular status update.
Exactly. It does not give you every single detail of the engine, but it gives you constant data.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tells you if you are running on empty, or if you just need to park the car and get some rest. It is a daily monitor, not a panic alarm.
A daily monitor. I
Uh,
love that. But here is the big hurdle for me, and I think a lot of people probably wonder this too.
Go for it.
How can something happening in my mouth possibly know what is going on all the way down in my gut?
It seems like they're miles apart, right?
Yeah, they feel like totally different neighborhoods. It just doesn't make logical sense at
Well, a
first.
key here is something called the gut-oral axis.
The gut-oral axis,
Yeah.
okay?
We tend to think of the mouth and the gut as separate systems because they are, physically distant.
Right, one is up here, one is down there.
Exactly. But biologically, they are not separate at all. They are literally two ends of the exact same continuous tube.
The exact same tube.
Yes, it is all one shared space, really.
Okay, I can sort of picture the tube. But, I mean, let's be real for a second. The stomach is basically this vat of strong acid, right?
It is very acidic, yes.
So how does a shift in the lower gut survive an upward journey through an acid bath to tell my tongue what is going on?
That is a very fair question.
Like, it doesn't seem like information can travel backward like that.
You are totally right. Bacteria are not just, swimming upstream through the stomach acid.
Right, that would be crazy.
The talking happens through signals.
Signals.
Yeah, through the body's warning system.
Mm-hmm.
When the balance of bacteria in your gut shifts, say because of a really stressful week or eating a lot of heavy foods.
Which happens to all of us.
Right. It triggers a response. Your gut sends out these tiny warning messengers.
Okay, so the gut is sending text messages, basically.
Exactly. These messengers travel through the blood and the nerves,
Yeah.
and they basically alert the whole digestive tract that there is a problem.
Wow.
And in response, the body changes its mucus production all the way up the tube, all the way to the mouth.
Oh, I see. So it changes the environment in the mouth?
Yes. Your saliva changes.
Yeah.
And the tongue is constantly bathed in that saliva. So it becomes this physical canvas that just paints a picture of what is happening lower down.
Which brings us to the question I think anyone listening is probably thinking right now.
The brushing question.
Yes, the brushing question. Isn't a white-coated tongue just a sign of, like, bad breath? Or maybe you just forgot to brush your tongue?
It is such a common thought. And to be fair, basic cleaning does matter.
Sure, of course.
But the thickness of that coating on your tongue is driven way more by your gut health, your water intake, and your internal balance than by how hard you brush.
So wait, even someone who is like a gold star brusher could have a coated tongue.
Oh, absolutely. You can have flawless habits, brushing twice a day, and still wake up with a heavy white coating
Yeah.
if you are having a rough week inside.
That is wild.
Because when those warning signals ripple up from the lower gut, they create extra mucus.
And that mucus just catches everything.
Exactly. It traps dead skin cells and local bacteria right on the surface. You really cannot just scrub away a gut issue.
Wow. Okay, so let's get into the actual, the topography of the tongue.
Yeah.
Because this is where this whole daily dashboard idea really comes to life.
It really does. There are so many clear signs to look for.
Yeah, let's walk through them. Let's start with the one we just mentioned, the white film.
Right. So if you look in the mirror and you see this thick white film, especially sitting toward the back third of the tongue.
The back part, okay.
Yeah. That often points to a heavy buildup of bacteria down in the small gut. It can also point to excess gas or just sluggish digestion.
So things are just moving too slowly.
Exactly. The system is bogged down. And that heavy white layer on the back is just the visible proof of the traffic jam.
It is so wild that it shows up exactly like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what about this next one? Because honestly, this sounds a little bizarre to me. Scalloped edges.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Scalloped edges.
Like literally little tooth-shaped ridges along the sides of the tongue. How does your tongue even get teeth marks on it?
Well, it happens when the tongue becomes physically swollen and it presses really hard against the back of your teeth overnight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it basically molds to the shape of your bite.
But why does it swell up?
It is a classic sign of fluid buildup and inflammation. When your gut is working heavy overtime, say managing severe bloating from something you ate, your body holds on to water.
Like a sponge.
Just like a sponge. The tongue tissue swells up, and because it is trapped in your jaw, it just pushes against the teeth.
It is like your tongue is stressed out and just clenching.
That is a great way to put it.
Okay, let's move right to the center of the tongue. What does it mean when you see deep cracks right down the middle? And I don't mean like little fine lines, I mean deep faults.
Right, a few tiny lines are totally normal for lots of people. But when you see deep, pronounced cracks in the center, it points to a serious lack of nutrients.
Oh, really? Which ones?
Very often, it is the B vitamins. You see, the tongue is one of the fastest healing tissues in the whole body. Its cells are turning over constantly.
So it must take a ton of energy to keep that up.
A massive amount of energy. And those B vitamins are crucial for that cell building.
So what happens if you don't have enough?
When your gut is not absorbing them properly, the tongue just cannot rebuild itself fast enough. The structure kind of fails, and those cracks literally open up in the tissue.
The tissue is literally cracking under the stress. That is intense.
It is. And what is amazing is that this can show up on the tongue even when a standard blood test misses it, because the tissue needs the vitamins so fast.
That is the whole dashboard thing again. It warns you early.
Exactly.
Okay, but what if the tongue goes the opposite way? What if it goes completely smooth? Like almost too smooth and pale, where those little tiny bumps just fade away?
A perfectly smooth, pale tongue is a major red flag for deep nutrient loss. Things like iron or folate.
What causes that?
We see this pattern a lot after someone takes a heavy course of strong medicine, like for a bad infection.
Oh, like when the medicine just wipes out the good bacteria too.
Exactly. It wipes out huge parts of the gut and the mouth bacteria. Nutrient absorption drops, and those little bumps on the tongue essentially just fade away.
So how do you get them back?
To rebuild that tissue, you actually really need zinc. Zinc is a core building block for keeping those little taste buds healthy.
So this would be the time to start eating foods with lots of zinc, like pumpkin seeds.
Yes, pumpkin seeds are wonderful for that. You have to give the body the raw materials to rebuild the bumps.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, there's one more pattern I want to ask about. It is sometimes called a geographic tongue.
Oh, yes. That one is visually very striking.
What does it look like?
It looks a bit like a map on the surface of the tongue. You get these shifting, smooth red patches, often with a little white border around them.
And what causes that map?
It is heavily linked to high levels of daily stress and deep gut sensitivity.
But how does stress in my brain turn into a map on my tongue? I mean, what is the link?
Well, when you are constantly stressed, your body pumps out cortisol. And that really alters how your immune system works.
Okay.
For some people, that stress causes the body to get confused, and it creates this local reaction right on the tongue surface. The little bumps fade away in random patches.
So the map moves around.
Yes. As the stress changes, the map changes shape. When you calm down, the bumps just grow back.
That is just, I mean, the body is so smart. It just wants to tell us what is wrong.
It really does.
Yeah.
It is always talking to us.
You know, I heard this story recently about a teacher. Let's say he is in his 40s, and he was dealing with this really random, frustrating bloating for like a year.
That is so common. It really drains your energy.
Totally. He said it felt like it was just coming out of nowhere, ruining his afternoons. But he started checking his tongue every morning.
And I bet he found a pattern.
He did. He started noticing that strictly on the mornings after he ate really heavy dairy for dinner, his tongue had a thick white coating at the back.
Yes. The evidence was right there.
And the thing is, the bloating usually didn't hit until the afternoon, so he had never connected it to the dinner she ate the night before.
This is such a vital point about how the body handles time. The tongue gives you the physical proof hours before the pain starts.
The warning light comes on before the smoke.
Precisely. By the time you feel that severe bloating, the internal shift has already been going on for hours. The tongue just gives you a head start.
Okay, so this is great. But how do we actually use this daily without, going crazy? Because this temptation is to grab a mirror and become totally paranoid over every tiny spot.
Right, we don't want to overthink it.
Yeah.
Building a simple daily routine is very easy once you know the rules.
Okay, what is the golden rule?
The absolute golden rule is this. You must check your tongue first thing in the morning.
Before absolutely anything else.
Before water, before food, and definitely before you brush your teeth or drink coffee.
Why before water?
Because drinking water washes away the overnight buildup, and coffee will temporarily stain the coating. The moment you wake up is when you get the purest reading of what your gut did all night.
Okay, so you wake up, you look in the mirror. What is the quick checklist?
First, just look at the overall color. A healthy baseline is a nice light pink.
Light pink, got it.
Then check the coating thickness. Compare the front, which is usually thinner, to the back. That back part is where the thick white layer will sit if digestion is slow.
Right, the traffic jam.
Exactly. Then just do a quick edge check. Look at those scalloped teeth marks and check the center for any deep cracks. It literally takes 10 seconds.
10 seconds, that is nothing. And then comes the part I am really curious about, using a tongue scraper.
Yes, the scraper is key.
Now I have to ask, why can't I just go to town with my toothbrush? It has bristles, it cleans things. Why do I need a special metal or plastic tool?
It really comes down to understanding what that white coating actually is. It is not just loose dust, it is a biofilm.
A biofilm, what does that mean?
It is a tiny structured layer of sugars, proteins, and bacteria. It is basically like protective armor that the bacteria build over themselves.
Oh, wow. Protective armor.
Right. And toothbrush bristles are pretty soft and flexible. So when you brush your tongue, the bristles just sort of glide over the top of that armor. They might move it around a bit, but they don't remove it.
So brushing a tongue is like, I don't know, dragging a soft broom over a paved road. It does not break up the pavement.
That is a brilliant way to picture it. But a tongue scraper acts like a snowplow.
A snowplow.
Yes. Its rigid edge physically breaks the structure of that biofilm and pulls it right off.
That makes so much sense.
And not only does that help your mouth stay healthy, but it resets your dashboard for the next day. You wipe it clean so you can see what builds up over the next 24 hours.
Okay, and there is one more part of this routine that sounded a little odd to me at first. Taking a photo of your tongue once a week.
I know it sounds odd. But human memory is terribly flawed when it comes to subtle color shifts.
That is true. I couldn't tell you what color my tongue was yesterday.
Exactly. You simply will not remember if it was a lighter shade of pink last week. So taking a quick photo in the exact same bathroom light gives you real data to look back on.
It reminds me of this other story I heard about someone working a really stressful job, say, a marketing manager.
Oh, office burnout. That takes a huge toll.
Totally. She was hitting this brutal phase at work, living on coffee, skipping lunch, eating late dinners at her laptop.
A classic recipe for gut distress.
Yes. And she started waking up with this heavy white coating on her tongue every single day.
But I imagine she didn't just panic, right?
Right. Instead of assuming the worst, she just treated her tongue like a step counter, just tracking the data.
That is the perfect mindset.
She knew the coating was just her habits showing up, so she didn't buy fancy pills. She just focused on eating regular meals, stopping the late-night work dinners, and resting.
And I bet it cleared up.
It did. Over a few weeks, as she lowered her stress, the coating just naturally faded away.
What is so beautiful about that approach is that it entirely removes the fear.
Right, there is no fear.
The tongue is just giving you gentle feedback. You change what you do, the feedback changes.
Which perfectly leads into the next big question. Let's talk about what we actually do.
Okay, let's get into it.
If the gauge is flashing and we see a thick coating, what fuel do we use to fix it? Because if I see a white coating of bacteria, my first thought is to just try and starve it out.
That is a very logical thought.
Mm.
But the gut works much more like a garden.
A garden.
Yeah. If you have weeds in a garden, you don't necessarily want to salt the earth and ruin the soil, right?
Right.
You want to plant robust, healthy crops that naturally crowd the weeds out.
Oh, I see.
So the first thing you can add is plain kefir and fermented foods like sauerkraut.
Okay. Fermented foods.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are packed with diverse, healthy bacteria. By sitting in a huge variety of good bacteria, they compete for space and help crowd out the ones causing the thick coating.
I love that. Send in the good guys to outcompete the bad guys. What about starchy foods? I always hear potatoes are good for the gut, but there is some trick to how you cook them, right?
Yes, this is a fun one. You want to eat cooked and cooled potatoes or cooked and cooled rice.
Cool. Like cold from the fridge. Why does that matter?
It actually changes the structure of the food. When you cook a potato and let it cool down, the starches form these tight bonds. They turn into what we call resistant starch.
Resistant starch. Okay.
It is amazing because it resists being broken down early on. It travels all the way down to your lower gut, completely intact.
And what does it do down there?
It acts as the absolute favorite food for your most helpful gut bacteria. It feeds the exact balance we want to see.
That is fascinating. Just letting it cool down changes everything.
It really does. Small changes make a big impact.
We also talked earlier about the smooth, pale tongue, which means low nutrients. And you said to lean into foods like pumpkin seeds for zinc.
Right, zinc builds the tissue, and leafy greens like spinach for the folate.
But what about the scalloped edges? The teeth marks? If the tongue is swollen, what do we do for that?
For that kind of swelling, you really want to bring in high-quality bone broth or a deeply simmered veggie broth.
Just normal broth.
Yes. Broth is incredibly rich in things that act like a soothing balm for the gut lining. If the gut is irritated, broth is one of the most gentle ways to calm it down and stop the body from holding all that water.
Okay, but before everyone runs out and starts eating giant bowls of sauerkraut and cold potatoes, we have to talk about the trap.
Ah, yes. The fiber trap. It is incredibly common.
Because it is highly relatable. People decide to get healthy, they suddenly eat tons of fiber, and overnight, their tongue gets worse and they feel terribly bloated.
Yes, they feel worse than when they started.
It is like, I don't know, hiring a massive crew of carpenters to build a house when your town only has plumbers.
That is a great way to say it.
It is total chaos until you get the right crew, and people feel that bloating and they think, oh, this food is bad for me, and they just quit.
I hear that all the time. But what is really happening is just a temporary adjustment phase.
It is just adjusting.
Exactly. Your gut bacteria are used to processing whatever you were eating before. When you drop a ton of complex fiber in there, they get overwhelmed.
So they have to change.
The balance has to shift. New bacteria have to wake up to handle the new food. And that shift creates temporary gas and, yes, a thicker tongue coating while the body manages the change.
So the message is just don't panic.
Right. Don't abandon the good habits too early.
Yeah.
It is just the sound of the internal crew shifting gears.
That is so helpful. Okay, so we know what to add. Let's talk about what to drop. What are the habits that just ruin this delicate balance?
The big ones are probably exactly what you would guess, but it helps to know why.
Yeah.
Excess alcohol is a double hit.
A double hit.
Yes. It physically dries out the tongue surface, and it also harms the good bacteria in the gut.
Oh, that makes sense.
And highly processed sugary snacks are basically rocket fuel for the exact things that cause a heavy tongue coating.
Right. And what about eating late? Why is eating late so hard on the tongue reading the next day?
It comes down to how your body cleans itself.
Yeah.
When you sleep, your digestive system is supposed to create these gentle sweeping motions.
Like an internal cleaning crew.
Exactly. It clears out leftover food and bacteria. But if you eat a huge dinner right before bed, your body has to spend all its energy digesting instead of cleaning.
Oh, wow. So you get no overnight cleaning at all.
None. The bacteria overgrow and you see the proof right on your tongue the next morning.
That makes me rethink midnight snacking completely.
It really changes things.
And skipping meals does the same thing, right? It throws off the rhythm.
It does. The body loves routine.
I also want to ask about coffee, because a lot of people drink coffee on an empty stomach.
Oh, that is a big one. Coffee can severely dry out tissue, including the tongue. That gives it a dry, heavily coated look, totally independent of what the gut is actually doing. It just dries the surface out.
And finally, we mentioned strong medicine earlier, like when you really need a prescription for an infection.
Right. And to be clear, if you have a bad infection and need strong medicine, you absolutely take it.
Of
But
course.
you just have to understand that your gut balance and your tongue will be wiped out. You just have to commit to gently rebuilding that garden afterward with those fermented foods and broths.
Which really brings us all together into a pretty empowering idea. I mean, your health is not just this fixed place.
No, it is a direction.
Yeah, it is shaped by all these small, gentle daily choices. And taking just 30 seconds every morning, before your coffee, to just look at this visible part of your gut.
It gives you a massive advantage.
It really does. It is free, it is right in front of you, and it lets you course correct before small things turn into big
It
problems.
completely changes how we view the body's warning system.
Mm.
And, if we take a step back, this raises a really lovely, almost profound thought.
Oh, what is that?
Well, if the hidden depths of the digestive tract can project its daily struggles so clearly onto the surface of the tongue, what other totally visible parts of our body are secretly showing us the exact state of our internal health?
Oh, I love that question.
Think about the little ridges that suddenly show up on our fingernails, or the shifting stretchiness of our skin.
Right, we always just think of those as cosmetic things.
But they are not. They are rich signals.
Mm.
The body is constantly talking to us on the surface, just waiting for us to finally learn the language.
That's just beautiful. It makes you realize that tomorrow morning when you are standing in the bathroom looking in the mirror, that reflection is offering you a lot more than just a chance to check your hair. Your
Absolutely.
body is talking to you. You just have to remember to listen.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Wellness Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same gentle way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Wellness Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the Join button right next to the Wellness Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Wellness Support Circle. Your support helps honest health awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Wellness Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.